receive public records.
You know somebody's gonna give it out, right? Okay.
That's.
You've been over it long.
Well, that's okay, that's okay. I've been made, I've been tried and tested. Yeah. All right, y'all
You
ready?
good?
Yeah.
Well, since we're talking about it, you're the one that brought this up during the meeting.
Mhm.
And I'll just go ahead and say, I've been inquiring about some of these grants, specifically public service grants.
Mm-hmm.
Not community grants, not your district grants, but public service grants. There was one given out.
It's the same,
Well, one comes from the entire commission, one comes from your district.
and they are community grants, that's the name of it. And public service grants, as a matter of fact, is the same name, is synonymous.
Okay,
Mhm.
but they do mean different things. One comes from the entire commission, and one comes from your district funds. To
Okay,
use at your discretion.
okay.
So one grant in particular that I had a question about was one to the Dannon Project
Mhm.
for $35,000.
Mhm.
Part of that money went to sponsor a tailgate. But in the
Mhm.
advertisement of that tailgate, it said by the Dannon Project and by Lashunda Scales. Nowhere on there did it say Commissioner Lashunda Scales, Jefferson County Commission, but that was from funds from the Jefferson County Commission.
Mhm. Well, here's what I'd like for you to do. I want you to be able to produce the document that you're referring to, because my name was never on anything. So anything that you'd like to, you submit your request and do what reporters normally do to get that information. And I'd love for you to be able to show it to me.
Well, I can show you documents right now that's
You
talked
can-
about the Magic City Classic Tailgate
Well, that's
by the
fine.
Dannon Project and Lashunda Scales.
Okay, well, you're welcome to produce that, and when you do, I'll address it.
Do you want me to show you right now?
Absolutely, you
Okay.
can, but in the meantime, anyone else have any other questions?
Also, I spoke
Mhm.
to the director of the Dannon
Mhm.
Project, Carrie
Mhm.
Pruitt.
I'm not answering any questions about the Dannon Project. Once you get the information that you are requesting, you're more
I
than
have
welcome
the
to do.
information.
Okay, and since you have that information, then you already have your answers. And
Well,
so,
my
let
question
me
to
be
you
very
is-
clear. Let me be very clear. I will not have my staff, who has done nothing but more than to support the community, to be questioned in a light that would appear as though we haven't been transparent. If
How's
you
your
have,
staff
if you
question?
have the
I'm asking you a
information,
question, not your staff.
if you have the information, and you can provide a flyer that had my name specifically on the flyer, I would appreciate it. And in the meantime, we can go on with the other questions, but you never can say that you had a flyer that had Lashunda Scales' name on the flyer, ever.
Why would this here say by Lashunda Scales and the Dannon Project?
As a matter of fact, where do you see that on there?
You don't see your name right here? By Lashunda Scales and the Dannon Project.
No, as a matter of fact, that's not the flyer. Are you talking about an event post that we put out on social media? Is that what you're referring to?
I'm talking-
Because it was never on the flyer. Now,
Magic
as a
City
matter of
Classic
fact, what I
Tailgate
can do
By
is,
Lashunda Scales and the
as a
Dannon
matter of
Project.
fact, here's what I can do is provide you a copy of the flyer. Would you like for me to do that? And then while
My
we're at it,
question,
yes, ma'am.
I feel like you're avoiding my question. My
I'm not
question
avoiding
is,
your question.
why
In
would
fact, I'm
money-
answering your question is not the answer you were hoping for, because
I don't have an
there's
answer.
never been a flyer. Let me correct it. There's never been a flyer that had Lashunda Scales and the Dannon Project. As a matter of fact, it only had the county's logo on it, period. And your news station, in addition to all of the news stations, received a news release in terms of how we were supporting, our level of involvement, and I would suggest highly that you get with your news director and you get that news release, because it's always been there, and it's always been transparent, and we've always made very clear, every single dollar that comes out of this county, that's the reason why when you refer to our Facebook page, our YouTube channel, that's the reason why we publicize exactly what we do. We don't have to be called out in order to provide transparency. Transparency is just what we do.
Commissioner, respectfully, I'm not calling you out on anything. I'm simply asking a question.
I'm fine with it. I'm actually fine with it.
I'm honestly not
That's
calling you
not a
out.
flyer. That's
Okay,
not a
I can
flyer.
show you two different locations
Okay.
that simply
That's
stated
not a flyer.
Lashunda Scales and
As
the
a matter of
Dannon
fact,
Project.
can you do me one favor?
Sure.
Do you happen to have a copy of the flyer, Joseph?
We have physical copies in the office.
Hmm?
We should have physical copies in the office.
Okay, please. So then we'll get back to that. I'm
If
gonna
that's
show.
if that's your answer, that's great. I'm not
You're
seeking a certain
fine.
answer.
You're fine. What I'm gonna do is provide what you say that you have, and I'm gonna show you what the public received. And in fact, the person behind you who represents the Birmingham Times, along with Mr. Crenshaw, never received anything that had Lashunda Scales' name on it, ever. As a matter of fact, it always was the Dannon Project, along with the Birmingham City Council, in addition to the Park Board, along with Jefferson County Commission, and it was by logo. It never said Lashunda Scales. So I'm trying to make sure that you have a very accurate account of what happened.
So the two different locations I'm talking about where I found the, just specifically
I don't know
said
what
your
two different
name.
locations you're
I
referring
just
to.
showed you one.
Where did you get that from?
This is a Facebook event that
Okay,
said.
you saying it's a Facebook post? Because here's what we're gonna do. I mean, just for accuracy, you know, nothing like accuracy. See, you
Oh,
and I
good.
both,
I can
you
see
and I
yours.
both do the same thing. I see the Dannon logo, and I see the Jefferson County logo. I see nothing that says Lashunda Scales. And as a matter of fact, when you look on this one, it also too says Dannon Project, Jefferson County. And so you're welcome to take that
No,
with
I-
you.
listen,
You're
I
welcome,
was
and
not
this is what the
thinking-
public received. So here's what we're trying to make sure that you understand. You're dealing with someone who knows public relations. And therefore, out of transparency, everything that we do not only is recorded, ma'am, but we make sure that the public knows in advance our level of participation. And so I want you to make sure you take it back, and I'll make sure your news station gets it before you even get back there, so we can all have a great account of this one story. So this, in no way, like what's happening right now, this is on Facebook Live, so you can't go in and just edit and leave out certain
I would
points.
never do
And I
that.
just wanna make sure that the public knows that this never said Lashunda Scales. I think you got the wrong event in mind. There's never been a county event that Lashunda Scales ever said that Lashunda
This
Scales.
is the exact same event. It just
Okay.
does not have the entire,
Ma'am,
the entire
this
information
is
on
the
there.
flyer.
So this isn't the wrong event.
This is the
I
flyer.
understand that, but.
Where you got that
I
information
just said
from,
this
I
is
don't
not-
know. But that's the reason why we keep copies. That's the reason why we provide it to the public prior to you asking, okay? So we're gonna kill the witch hunt, because that's all that is.
There's no witch hunt. I'm
Okay,
simply
I
asking a
understand.
question. You
I
answered the
understand.
question and you showed me the entire
Well,
flyer.
thank you.
That's what I was
And make sure
asking
you
for.
take that with you. You
So
so
thank you.
kind.
I
Any other
appreciate
question
that.
you have today
No.
pertaining to today? Okay. All right, Solomon, you got any questions for me?
Not for this.
Sure. Matter of fact, it was standing room only and the public enjoyed it. So I'm glad, because you're gonna be, hopefully, you'll be able to make sure you cover it next year. It's gonna be very good. I think it's gonna be very good, very positive. Yes, sir.
Okay, I've got nothing right now.
You have nothing?
Right now.
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am.
Appreciate it.
You're so kind. Thank you.